Welcome to the video. In this video, even though I have a lots of female audience, I think it's very necessary to speak about man, as we do have lots of lost men, and I think as I was also lost back in the days. And so I think from my perspective, let's discuss man's things. There was a questions from Instagram the other day. I had like a couple of questions regarding man, how men can process betrayal. Ooh, I think for male, betrayal from woman is really painful. And I feel like there was a comment the other day about, I think this person commented on my video about, in 20 minutes video, I said something about like men are more emotional. No, women are more emotional than men. And she or he, I don't know, but this person literally just commented negatively. That's me saying this is not helping man. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just discuss about man and a man's emotions. What I mean by women are actually emotional than men is the expression and engagement with an emotion. Obviously, men and a woman both have same emotions. Like we have sadness to joy and happiness and then all the other feelings and all the other emotions that we can label it. But the women tend to feel and engage with their own emotions and express their emotions, and the men are more suppressed because the traditional way to being a masculine man is to suppress and then be staying strong and support, right? And my dad was like that. My dad is literally just never complain. I never see him crying or tear coming down in his face. I never see him being emotional, except that he chooses to be happy. He chooses to make people smile. He chooses to laugh and make a joke, even though it's not funny most of the time. That's who he is. And then I think looking at that man as a young age, even though I was heavily relying on the mother's attention, so that I grew up as a very female, feminine-oriented person, and I was very feminine. All I cared was fucking fashion, rather than going to the gym and become more intelligent as a man and become more masculine. And all I cared was like I stay skinny and I fit nice clothes and so that I can look pretty. Going through that transformation from the being very feminine man to at least being a masculine, a little bit more or masculine oriented man, was really like a spiritual level of transformation. It's not just because I become more masculine and become masculine and become more man. That doesn't mean that I only transform into the physical level, because of the hormone, because of the biological change occurs during this shift from heavily relying on a feminine energy to being more in tune with the masculine energy. And I still have a lot of feminine energy as well, and that doesn't me in tune with the masculine energy doesn't mean that I'm completely masculine. I don't like fuck feminine. It's not like that. I embrace my feminine energy, and to be honest, I sometimes rely on feminine energy to be in the present moment, detach myself from this logical discipline, rational thinking, to just come here and surrender and accept and receive. That's definitely feminine energy. So I am still in tune with the feminine energy, even though it's interesting because all my female friends literally just told me that the other day that I am more in tune with the feminine energy. And back then, last year especially, I was more masculine. And I attracted a lot of beautiful girls, but I'm in tune with the masculine energy. And everywhere I go, people are like, fuck. And then I enjoy the attention, and I enjoy the validation, and I enjoy the interaction with a lot of females. But now I am more in tune with my feminine energy, and I feel like there's a lot of healing because of the relationship between me, heavily relying on my mother's attention, not being a masculine individual. Obviously, he was young, I was young, but I could definitely start this masculine journey, or to at least be independent and be responsible, because I think as a man we need to be responsible in pretty much anything. So that transformation and starting the journey literally just changed the entire narrative in my brain and in my mind. And it changes a lot of things, and it's changing the spiritual level, it changes energetic level, it changes mental level and everything. And again, I'm still in tune with the feminine energy, but the way I communicate and the way I engage with my feminine energy is completely different. So coming back to the women are more emotional than men, and the women are more emotional in terms of like expressing and engaging with their own emotion, but men tend to be suppressing and, holding on to it, but being disciplined. But I think men has the capacity to do so. Man has a capacity to stay disciplined and to go beyond of the emotionality. And I think that's what I've learned when I started the journey to be more in tune with my masculine energy and the masculine self. And I'm happy with it, right? So obviously you have to take a balance. And then I think a lot of women are in tune with the masculine energy and I'll be in tune with the feminine energy. And that's also create an unbalanced condition for themselves, right? But you could still be in tune with your feminine energy so much, but you could communicate with your masculine energy as well when you want to, finish tasks, when you want to do this and do that, or perhaps you own your business and company or etc. Then you want to be in tune with the masculine energy, but you don't have to stay in that side for entire time. That's just coming from the trauma. That's just coming from your condition in your brain, right? That's a program that you have from childhood, or maybe like when you're a teenager, or like in early 20s. So back to the question, how can men process betrayal? So the reason why I brought this up is because somebody commented in and blah blah blah, and I was like, cool, but this is not my opinion, but actually study shows that a woman and man are equally emotional in terms of feeling that emotion. So again, this is just the difference between how men operate and how women operate. And then I think you get to choose how do you want to operate. And that doesn't mean that I don't show my weakness, or that doesn't mean that I don't express my emotion. I do express my emotions and I show my weaknesses to certain people. And I'm fine with that, right? Like I'm completely being vulnerable. And I think this is also part of me being vulnerable in some level, showing my weakness, showing my emotions, right? Talking about, how I was, the relationship between me and my parents and etc. It's very vulnerable stuff. It's very emotional topic to talk about. But just because I am being emotional and just because I'm talking about emotional stuff, the way I express my emotion and the way I engage with my emotion, it should be in my way. If it's completely honest, it's not coming from insecurity or fear of expressing emotion. It's not coming from anything that suppress your emotion. Then I think that way is your way. It's the honest and a very vulnerable way for you to engage with your own emotion. It's whether it's a man and a woman. That's just your own truth. So I am very in tune with my emotions and I do express. And to be honest, I'm very childish. Well, yeah, childish, innocent. I mean, end of the day, it doesn't matter how masculine they are. Like, like even though they look like a fucking badass shit. In their heart, I'm pretty sure in their heart it's such a sweetheart. That's how man is. We show up with the confidence, we show up with the masculine energy for certain reasons. But the woman understands that at the end of the day, they want to feel protected and they want to just let go and all the armor, because the knight wear armors, go to the war, right? And they want to take that out and just, want to be in the arms of a woman. They want to just, lay down and just not think about it, not being confident, or not to keep the armor on and get into bed, next to your woman. It's just you want to let it all go. But without having the being knight, without the time you being with that version of yourself and being confident and tuned in, which is so focusing with the masculine energy, and then if you're laying down with the girl all the time and just that's just disgusting, isn't it? I think the woman respects you showing, I'm talking to you man, if you're a woman, and I think you can resonate or you don't, I don't know. But I think from a woman's perspective, the reason why that woman appreciate men showing weakness and men showing vulnerability and being vulnerable in tune with their own emotion is because they know that they stand up for themselves, they stand up for her, they stand up and to be this man, to put the armor on it, to go to the war, to show up as who he is. And I think the courage and the determination and the discipline creates this gap as a human being, and it makes man a human too, right? And that's why women appreciate the vulnerability. The woman appreciate the man who is more in tune with their emotion and be able to show that to and then express that to a woman, because then she gets to see the real person. And obviously, as a man and a woman, it doesn't matter. You decide how you want to express yourself. And I have no problem with any other people, the labels. I don't really understand the pronouns, to be honest. She, her, he, him. I have no idea what that means, but I believe that expression of freedom, it does exist. So I don't care the way you express is true to yourself, then be true to yourself. But there's a biological standpoint that we cannot ignore. As a man, we operate as a man, and a woman, we operate as a man, right? It's the same difference between men have penis and a woman has a vagina. It's just, that's what it is. You can't just point out the woman is that's weird. Now, why we are not the same? We are different. So from that perspective, we should be different, and we okay. It's completely okay to be different. And inside of the category of the man, inside of the category of woman, we are all different. So we should have own expression. And actually, there is a quote that I just posted on a thread. Let me just have a look. Okay? It actually explains that very well. Yes, self-expression is a dominant necessity of human nature, said by William Winter. So we need to express ourselves as a man and as a woman. And then I'm speaking to a man in this video. As a man, we need to express ourselves in the way that is most authentic to ourselves, right? So especially when in terms of that expression and emotion is, the emotion is energy, emotion, and we feel this energy is moving around, and then we cannot suppress it, because when you stop the energy, it gets stuck. Imagine that there's a pipe, and like a sink, and you want a water come in, but imagine that it's stuck. Because the energy is not flowing, the water is not flowing, and it's just stuck, and it's dirty, and it's old. You want to create the flow in the pipe so that the water comes out from the pipe. It's the same, everything is just circulating, and the energy is circulating, that, your heart is an electric organ that produces the electromagnetic field, which is the energy outside of your skin. And then your brain also receive and then also transmit the vibration frequency. So everything is energy. And then we need to be in tune with an emotion, because emotion is the energy in emotion. I think somebody said that. I've heard that was 10 years ago. But it's true, right? Emotion is definitely the energy. That's why in law of attraction, we need to feel. There's a book called Feeling is a Key, or Feeling is a Secret. And I think it's true. My manifestations in law of attraction was heavily based on how vivid that I could feel emotionally, that experience that I'm visualizing, or the intention that I'm putting, or the things that I'm asking universe or God. The more you feel it's real, that it is already real somewhere in the different dimension. It's just you have to wait and then keep taking action until your reality meets that dimensional reality. From speaking about emotion in man, I think a lot of men are more mentally, emotionally weak compared to a woman, because a woman has to deal with those ups and downs all the time. So when men are forced to face a high emotional state, I think it's very difficult for us to handle. And I definitely observed myself struggling with dealing with high level of emotional state. Recently, I don't have any of those experiences, but the last year I had a bit of betrayal. I don't want to say the betrayal, but I felt like I was betrayed. And then, okay, let's talk about this. I feel like I was definitely going through some sort of heartbroken, and it wasn't that bad because I didn't know her that much. But what I experienced and what actually sabotaged me to express myself, because my mother was a great woman. She's loyal. I don't know if I'm not sure if it's the right things to say in this video, but she told me that she only had sex with 2 men. She just genuinely didn't like the idea of like having sex with a bunch of men, and I love that. I seek these aspects in a woman, maybe because I've learned that beauty and the beautiful idea of the woman from my mother, and I love the fact that she was in fucking around, and I fucking hate girls who's saying like, yeah, we should do some like, man, we should just fuck around, normalize that, anyway. Yeah, I hate that personally, and because I personally don't necessarily think that fucking around is the solution to anything. It just creates a depression. It makes you feel like shit because you're trying to fill the void. You're just feeling pleasure and chasing pleasure. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as just buying nice things, and you're never really fulfilled in any way. So how I felt when I experienced some sort of like pre-heartbreak in last year, it was difficult because kind of like sabotaged me to express myself, because oh yeah, like all these girls are like pretending that they're nice and innocent, and it turns out you just like she was also seeing another guy. It was kind of like when I left the guard, I just got a punch on my face. That's how I felt. That's why it felt like it's a bit intense internally, like I was in a high emotional state, and I definitely was mad. I was a bit pissed off, even though I was meditating a lot. That hit me very well. But yeah, it's difficult for us to go through, especially betrayal from a woman. But I think it only makes us stronger. And I think as a man, we need to go through that heartbreaks, and like at least to understand a woman. Because a woman is definitely divine, and I believe that a woman is the closest existence to God. So what man can experience with a woman, or through experience with a woman, is definitely teaching, and it's healing. It can be trauma, but the way we handle these situations and heartbroken, that's a necessary process for us to be a better man. So eventually, end of the day, now I really appreciate the fact that I had that experience with her, which shouldn't stop me in any way. But I want to be a better man because I had that experience, and overall it was a good experience, and I had a great time, and it was very passionate. And the second question that he also asked was how men can heal and in the process anger. When it comes to the healing, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or man, it doesn't matter. I take same approach to a man and a woman, and when it comes to the healing. But I feel like women are more interested in these aspects than men. And the men tend to be like, whatever, spirituality, healing, blah, 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 astrology, blah, blah, blah. But I'm, as I said, I was raised in a very more like in tune with the feminine energy. I have a little bit more understanding in those kind of things in astrology, and I have more interest in those things. And that doesn't mean that I know things, but I'm interested in astrology. I'm interested in the girly things that is perceived in society. And as a coach and as a life coach, I teach people in the program how to heal, and I have a specific healing practice and method to really in tune with their own selves and be in line, and then heal their inner child and heal their wounds and everything. And I take that approach in the same way, and as a man and to a man and a woman, because I, as a man, experience the exact same step-by-step healing strategy or healing method for myself fast, and then it was just mind-blowing. Or if you go in and take a plant medicine, the plant medicine is the God and is a spirit. It takes you the exact same step to heal you, or to help you heal, or to help you understand the journey of the healing. I don't think there's a man and there's a woman. It shouldn't be divided when it comes to the healing or spiritual work, because essentially we just unite as a one. And in a spiritual level, I don't believe there is a gender, right? I think you can identify as a man and a woman, but I think when you unite within yourself, or when you unite with the God or universe, it's something beyond of this biological perspective. So you can find some video about healing in my YouTube, and that I'm pretty sure that will help you. But if you really want to go deep in, then you need to find a safe place. And therapy doesn't help you. I'm sorry if you're a therapist, but therapy doesn't help you, because therapy only makes you stuck in a cycle. And then I actually did a search the other day, and apparently in 2021 there's 41 million people who was in therapy or some sort of consultation. 41 million people. That's insane. That's insane. But most of the people will be stuck, because in therapy what they do is to identify, but doesn't give a solution. So what we do in the coaching, the Live Your Life movie, is we're going to identify it, and we have the same space in the community that people who can support you emotionally, and who can support you and then share things which is difficult to share, but we share things each other. I share personal things, and people share personal things, and then we support emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so that we can accomplish greater goals. So in the coaching, we offer the method and a practice and a goal-oriented path that I'm going to help you to map it out, so that we can find a solution, and then we can solve the problem that you identify in therapy or the early stage of the program. So this is what I do, and then how we approach the ancient techniques, and then we approach a very organic and natural way, which works very well, because if meditation exists thousands of years ago and still people follow that method, that means it works, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, if everything new is old. Everything that we follow, if that is created by thousands of years ago and it still exists and actually helping people, that means that it works. Some people say like meditation doesn't work. No, meditation works. It's just your way is not working because you're doing it wrong. Period. So the reason why the therapy is great, but it doesn't work very well for you to find a solution and actually make a change, because it's not goal-oriented, it's not solution-oriented. Lastly, this is a very long video, but lastly, thoughts. Value of a woman in a man's life regardless of sexual orientation. There was a very interesting, I don't want to take a credit for this, but I was watching a video about someone I just came across randomly, in TikTok or, I don't know, perhaps it was TikTok or Instagram. And there's a guy who was on a podcast with a bunch of girls, and he was saying that when the girl says that the man only wants pussy, and then that guy was saying that, well, and I said to this girl, well, if you can only offer pussy, then all the man wants pussy from you. But when a woman can offer something beyond the pussy, then men appreciate the quality as well. And I think that it's just so on point. The thing is, the power dynamic between man and a woman is so horrible. Like, in a society, woman is saying and blah, 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 blah. It's a feminism. I'm a feminist, by the way, based on a definition of the feminism, actually the people who support a woman's right. So I'm a feminist, and I like women. I was raised with a bunch of women because my mom was doing a little business, and I was surrounded with a woman. I was raised with a bunch of like business-minded women, strong woman. So I, not be mean, sarcastic, but I just genuinely love and support a woman. I like when a woman's passionate about things, and when a woman are doing things, independently, or trying to, pursue their dreams. I like that, and I think it's beautiful. And it's so true when girls can only offer you pussy, just all you want is pussy. It's just, that's it. But imagine it's the other way around. So this guy doesn't have anything, doesn't have nothing to offer you, but great sex. You might take it, you know what I mean? Okay, you know what? Let me take it. I'll take the sex, but I don't want to do anything with you outside of the sex. That's probably naturally you think. So I think it's not only for a woman, but I think in the both way, it comes both way. That what can you offer in a relationship? What can you offer, whether it's an emotional support or whether it's a genuine support, it's kindness, it's so much love and compassion, understanding, care, or perhaps you can provide a lot, or perhaps you are, super strong, so you can protect, or you might have like lots of friends or lots of families. And because what you can offer is very important, right? Because it's the both way. You need to, at least in modern days, that you meet man and a woman, the partner by yourself. It's not like it's set it up. So at least there's a willingness, there's a will, your will to be with that person. So I think it's essentially your choice, right? And by making your own choice and then choosing somebody to be with you, or to at least somebody to spend time with you in a certain period of time, then you have to have something to offer. And then without having offers, how would you expect that person to stay with you and be loyal and be honest with you? I think it's just arrogant to offer pussy or offer dick and expect that other person to be so amazing to you. And then just, if this is not a perfect ideal girlfriend or boyfriend, you just start complaining about things in life. I think we need to make it clear and then communicate with what you like and what you don't like. And this is who I am, and this is, what I can do. But there's a lot of things that I don't want to use the word compromise. I don't believe in a compromising in life, any level. But we can definitely come to an agreement in a certain way or in a certain level to, for example, like to respect my time. And if I'm disrespecting my time by wasting my time, then this is lack of my discipline, right? So like I can go ahead and work on myself, but I cannot change anyone. So I can change myself by giving myself a little bit of hard time so that I can increase the level of discipline, and then so that I don't waste my time and I can be productive, right? Like I can go ahead in a cafe at 8 or 9 a.m. and then write a book, and then eat the lunch, and then come back, and then I shoot YouTube, and then I'm going to the gym, and then I come back, and for example, I have a girl on a date, eat dinner, and whatever. I edit the video, I post to YouTube. So like my days like that, right? And then if I'm wasting my time, and then I can't shoot YouTube, or like I'm posting YouTube at 11 p.m., then I can do something about it because that's my thing, and then I can change myself. But when it comes to somebody else is wasting my time, flaking and just being late all the time, not respecting my time, then I can say like, hey, like I really appreciate if you can respect my time, right? And she accepting that is not any compromise. No! Fuck. Oh my god. This is my only sweater. I drop a coffee and then it's pitch black, isn't it? Let me just... Oh my god, I didn't realize that it was pitch black. Sorry guys, you guys probably couldn't see my face. Or maybe you didn't want to see my face. Or no, I don't think that's the case. I'm joking. Anyway, so yeah, I spilled coffee on my only sweater that I like, and a lot of people actually gave a good compliment on that sweater. So I just washed it, and hopefully that will disappear. Anyway, so the value of a woman in a man's life, regardless of sexual orientation, I think it should definitely take away the sex, because sex is not the value, it's the pleasure. It actually connects to the dot that I mentioned before, that if you can find yourself in a childlike behavior and feeling so protected and feeling so safe, that your inner child comes out. If you are in the space and surrounded by these people you're safe in and completely makes you authentic, and then that you will see your childlike version of yourself making stupid joke and like laughing like, and then you kind of like coming back to yourself and like, what's that? You know what I mean? So if you can find yourself like that, then I think that's the value. It's the energy that you and that woman connect. And I find this in the Japanese girls. I'm not sure if the girls in a different country does or is. I think any woman in general are the same, basically. They're amazing and they're godlike. This motherhood. The woman have a lot of this motherhood or tendency to kind of like, express very protective and forgiving and accepting. I think these women I think that's the value. You know, let's face it, I don't enjoy these girls who just like always like posting some bitchy whore ish photos. Because if you are the boyfriend or husband and you don't want your partner to do that, right? So it's the same, right? I think it's just we don't find them very valuable and attractive, you know, as a partner or as a woman, or in a woman anyway. I think men agree with that. But my value is that how I feel when I'm around her, and I think can I really trust this person? And I think that really comes down to that, because you know it's ugly when you pick a wrong person. It's ugly, and especially in core, in a societal one of these fragile situation, then a man tend to be weaker than a woman, because a woman, it's easy for a woman to have custody over man. So it's going to be ugly, right? So like I really genuinely want to test the water and see if I can really trust this girl, or if I am to be in that relationship with the like wife and husband type of relationship, whether I get married or not. I do not want personally anyone who just stabbed me in the back in my life, and I just genuinely don't want that. I don't want anyone who's negative and just always complaining, always gossiping, and then I want people to just talk about dreams and talk about if something is wrong, then let's find a solution, and maybe I can help you, maybe someone else can help you, rather than just talk about the same shit over and over. And I had a friend of mine, old friend of mine, that the other day, and then she's in a relationship. She's married, but like the story and the things that she talks about is like, why are you still in this relationship? But then she decided to get married, right, at some point, even though it was the same from the beginning, that they stayed in a relationship for like 7-8 years, and then like end up just being the same. And then she probably regretted the same at the point, but it's hard for her to get out. It's hard for her to make that difficult decision. So a lot of people stays. I think it's very true that the beauty on the outside fade away, but the beauty on the inside stays. And if I feel like childlike myself, and if I genuinely feel protected and emotionally supported, and then I see a lot of acts of love and an active behavior. Active behavior isn't the word. I think what is that? The acts of services. I think you individually should find what is the value in a woman, and I don't think this should be completely like shared between man. I think there is something that that only you understand something about her, right? There's always like, I think we can point out some important aspect and an element. That's why you need to be able to see it. That's why you need to really take time and don't just rush into the, oh, she's amazing. Oh, I want to be in a relationship. Yeah. Like, chill, take time. And yeah, just to see through who she is in a deeper level. Because right now, a lot of girls in 20s are beautiful, and then perhaps in the 30s, they're beautiful as well. And they're like, the ladies in the 30s, I'm like, wow, beautiful. And then in 40s as well, I'm like, wow. So that means they will stay young if they have a good mentality and if they can take care of themselves, right? And in even 50s, the girls stay young. So it's really the mentality, that the beauty that lies within her, that we need to find, and then we need to actually put the heavy weight as a value. And then he actually manifests as how she looks, right? If she can stay young as much as she can in a longer period of time, then I think that's win for a man too, right? If you're a man that wants to develop yourself and wants to be the next level and become better man, then focus on yourself. Literally just that's it. I know that I also feel that temptation from women, especially beautiful men. Obviously all men feel that temptation, but you have to stay disciplined. You have to stay focused on your growth so that the woman finds you attractive, woman finds you irresistible. And that's the goal that you want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, if you're genuine and kind and amazing, and you definitely find a great woman. With that said, I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao. Live your life like a movie.